So I want to talk about DAZN today, and specifically DAZN boxing, and give my thoughts as to why it's not making money and why we keep seeing more and more pay-per-views, and give constructive criticism. So if there is anyone at Matchroom or DAZN listening to this, there's some simple things you can implement to make DAZN actually profitable, so that you don't have to keep going to Len Blavatnik asking for, what is it, $4.5 billion of extra income. Right, so let's get this clear. Yes, DAZN wants to be the Netflix for sports, and they want all these big deals, but the number one thing is they want it to make money. Now, I understand they've come in very ambitious, and their whole idea was to have basically taken over the market within about 5 years. But it's been nearly 5 years now, and it ain't happening, is it? So let's start with, how do you actually make this thing profitable? And it's quite simple as to why this is failing. It's due to lack of brand identity. Okay, so is this Netflix for sport? Yes, that's what it's supposed to be. Okay, so you're telling me I subscribe to DAZN and pay money for it, and I can watch these fights whenever I want, as much as I want. Yes. Okay, well, what was the latest big fight that they just had? It was Canelo versus Triple G3. If I search Canelo versus Triple G3 on YouTube, I can watch it for free on the DAZN Boxing YouTube channel. How does that make any sense whatsoever? The whole point of this platform of DAZN is that I pay for it, yet over in the UK, without using a VPN, I can watch the exact same content for free on their YouTube channel. How does this make any financial sense? Whoever's idea this was needs to be fired from DAZN. They need to have very tough conversations with whoever's idea this was. And if you're sat here thinking, well, you're just this small-time YouTuber, what do you know? Well, ask yourself the very question I just asked you. This is even worse. It's worse when you consider that this was a pay-per-view, and a few days later, a week later, there was the pay-per-view of Joe Joyce versus Joseph Parker on BT Sports. Now, I can find Joyce versus Parker usually a month or two after the pay-per-view on BT and Sky Sports, right, on their YouTube channel. I can usually find their fights a month or two after they've been shown on their channels. But the fact of the matter is, I can still find a good quality YouTube video of it, of somebody in the crowd. This is the main downfall, the main issue with DAZN, okay? Is it a streaming platform for sports where I can watch great sporting events over and over, or is it going to show the biggest fights live, in which case you need to spend a lot of money securing people and make a large financial loss? Now, I'm not saying you can't do that in the future, but let's build a bedrock of income, shall we? Let's actually make this Netflix for sports. Now, one of the issues with DAZN is sports is exciting in the moment, and after the moment, it's not really that exciting. You're going to get the hardcore boxing fans like me who are going to rewatch it. But in all honesty, I don't care about the commentary. The commentary for DAZN isn't very good anyway. It's okay, but this whole game changed thing is ridiculous. I don't care if I'm watching it uploaded from Mexican terrestrial television. I don't care. And on to my next point. Netflix, it's known that you can watch certain movies in some countries and can't in other countries. And lots of people who use Netflix have VPNs so they can watch Netflix. So I'm in the UK, let's say I want to watch something and it's on in American Netflix. I can use a VPN to change my location to America and I can watch those TV shows, right? Well, the same crowd who are going to buy DAZN understand that, right? And that's no problem if they're streaming the fights. But as far as I'm aware, it's the same service pretty much everywhere. But here's one of the major flaws with using pay-per-views with that crowd to boost your income. I can easily get a VPN for free, doesn't cost me anything, change my location to wherever, and watch your pay-per-views on terrestrial television in another country. It's not difficult to do. People who own Netflix know this. It's sort of just a known thing. I don't really see how using pay-per-views is going to save this business model. Next thing, I want to talk about their commentary team for a moment. People who watch Netflix and use Netflix and who are like, oh, Netflix for sports, that's interesting. We don't want to hear, when we're watching two people bludgeon each other at 2 a.m, oh, I'm sorry that their coaches are swearing. Come on now. And someone's going to say, well, there might be a kid watching it with their parents. Well, if there's a complaint, just say it's 2 a.m. and this is two people beating each other half to death, and you're upset because someone used the word fuck. Right? It's in this midway point of being up to date with, say, the latest technology and being an appeal to the younger crowd who don't have loads of money for pay-per-views, and being old-fashioned, sort of extremely politically correct. What I would suggest is you scrap the pay-per-views, you scrap trying to sign the big-time fighters, go with this model, get classic sports on there. If you really want to get a big boxing following, get the Mike Tyson fights on there. Oh yes, you get... Sorry about that, motorbikes. They piss me off, man. You want to get boxing fans on DAZN. Get Mike Tyson's first 25, 30 fights on there. It's going to cost you a hell of a lot less than getting Alvarez, who's costing you, what, 100 million a year, something like that. Get those on there. Do mini documentaries on the greatest fighters of all time. You think Disney have just done an 8-episode series called Mike about Mike Tyson. Get classic fights on there and get big names on there, and it won't cost you too much. I don't know, obviously the semantics of it, I don't know how exactly it works, but it's got to be cheaper than signing Anthony Joshua and Saul Alvarez, and you're still making a loss. Go with the classic sporting events that people want to watch and really bring them to life. Do documentaries on them exclusively to DAZN, and don't publish those on YouTube. Maybe an episode or two, like teasers and all this stuff. But don't give away your product for free on Google, because YouTube is literally Google with videos. Don't give away your product for free, and certainly don't do it after a live event 2 days after the event. What kind of... Who had this bright idea? Whose idea was that? Because I guarantee you, they're getting paid a hell of a lot more than I do. I don't work for DAZN, but if I did, I've immediately saved you money. How can this be? How can this... This is bankrolled by Len Blavatnik, a multi-billionaire. How can this be so incompetent? It's ridiculous how incompetent DAZN is being run. Next thing, people, you need to cast your minds back to Audley Harrison and Tyson Fury. Audley Harrison signed a £1 million 10-fight deal with the BBC. Tyson Fury signed, basically, I think it was practically an identical deal with Channel 5, okay? These were on terrestrial television. Channel 5 and the BBC weren't losing money, were they? No, they were not. They signed young up-and-comers and put them on basically free television. Now look, I understand people demand a hell of a lot more money these days when you're talking like Olympians and things, but Tyson Fury had only won a British ABA championship. That's all he'd won. Sign those kinds of guys and promote the crap out of them. Put them on shows, have the documentaries like they did with Tyson Fury, telling everyone his story, and just find people who are exciting. They don't need to be top level guys. Have 10, 20, 30 of those people, right, doing shows every single month, actually making money, and now you have a bedrock to build up to signing stars like Dillian White, Alvarez, Anthony Joshua, etc., etc. Stop doing these ridiculous deals. One fighter is not going to save your platform. It's not how it works. HBO was profitable before Floyd Mayweather signed and after he left. Same with Showtime. BT Sport, it's profitable. Sky Sports, they're profitable. But DAZN, you are not. And there's a simple reason. You're giving away your products for free. You have no brand identity. And you're asking me to subscribe to something for every month so I can get a £2 discount on the ridiculous amount of pay-per-views you're doing. We don't want to see Conor Benn versus Eubank Jr. Nobody wants to see that. It's not going to save your platform. What will save your platform is consistently putting on profitable shows. Make your system cheap. Make it cheap. You don't put on a premium product and have a low price point. And the thing is, you're realising you can't do that. Can you? You can't charge us £8 a month or £12 a month, whatever it is now, having all this boxing on and keep it sustainable, because you're signing people who are losing you money. Alvarez is not making you money because you're having to spend so much on it, and you can't even get it on a pub in the UK. I understand it might be making you money in the US, but I'm talking as a whole. This whole company needs to be reshifted, literally gutted and sewn back together. Right, tell me what you think. If there's anyone at Matchroom or Sky or DAZN or whatever, you're listening to this, you should be thinking to yourself, no, he has got it. Absolutely spot on. I'm not a highly paid man. Look, I'll go and work for you and do these rants. I mean, we can do them for £1 a rant. You think, what is a board meeting? It's a load of people ranting, not really coming up with any ideas. I've just given you way more ideas than probably anyone in the board. So DAZN Boxing, you're trying to charge me, really, what was it, like 28 quid to watch Alvarez versus Triple G3 because I had to subscribe to it and buy it, and I said, no thank you. 2 days later, it's on YouTube for free. I went to... And like I said, the people who buy into this whole Netflix for sports, we know about VPNs. Yeah, they know about VPNs. They know they can change their location to Mexico and watch it for free. They just got to deal with the Spanish commentary. And that's it. Alright, tell me what you think. Subscribe, like, leave a comment. Thank you very much.